Taking place 31 years after Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi and 56 years after Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, the Star Wars series is moving back to its roots, utilizing 35mm film, real locations, and miniature models in favor of green screens and computer-generated imagery when possible, in order to make the film feel more aesthetically pleasing and similar to the original Star Wars trilogy. So, let's take a look at a few reasons why we think Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens will totally kick ass, and we're excited for it.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes, or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
There are many variables to consider for this movie, and J.J. Abrams must be feeling the weight of the universe on his shoulders from sci-fi fans around the world. Despite Abrams only being 49 years old, he already has a filmography that would make anyone in the film industry jealous. His debut film, Mission Impossible 3, was the most expensive film ever made by a first-time director until Tron Legacy in 2010. Abrams credits landing the job on Mission Impossible 3 after Tom Cruise watched early episodes of Alias, a show Abrams created, and he absolutely loved them. The two began hanging out together, and Cruise offered him a job. With the massively successful Star Trek reboot under his belt, J.J. Abrams will become the first person in history to direct both a Star Trek film and a Star Wars film. Not bad for a kid who grew up being a massive fan of both franchises. He has been quoted saying that Star Wars: A New Hope was the most influential film of his generation, and that he feels incredibly lucky to be involved with either of them. Having a passionate director behind the helm is always a must, and we don't need to worry there. He has already assembled a stellar cast and tapped Lawrence Kasdan to help write the screenplay. If you're unfamiliar with the name Lawrence Kasdan, I can't blame you. In an industry that is predominantly focusing on actors, directors, and producers, writers are often just not well as known. Kasdan, unlike many writers who start small and rise to the top writing major motion features, cut to the chase and penned Raiders of the Lost Ark for Steven Spielberg, and later wrote Star Wars Episode 5 The Empire Strikes Back as his first films. Pretty good start, I must say. He would also go on to pen Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi. Luckily for Star Wars fans, Lawrence Kasdan is back on board to help J.J. Abrams with the screenplay for The Force Awakens. While he is only serving as a script consultant on The Force Awakens, he will be writing and producing the Han Solo Star Wars film set to be released in 2018. Lawrence has more than enough experience and the right kind needed to bring back the heart and soul of what made the original trilogy so successful.
You are unwise to lower your defenses.
Back in 1977, when A New Hope was first released, the cast chosen were relatively unknown at the time. For Hamill, Fisher, and Ford, it was largely their first big production. Harrison Ford at the time was helping George Lucas audition other actors for the principal parts with no expectations to be considered for the role of Han, and was quite surprised when he was offered the part. Previously to the success of A New Hope, his principal job was in carpentry. Attached to The Force Awakens, we have the best in the business in Andy Serkis, known for playing the creature Gollum, as well as the ape Caesar in Planet of the Apes. Serkis will be playing the Supreme Leader Snoke, utilizing motion capture technology. Thus far, we have not seen his character, but if you've seen the teaser trailer, you've heard his character narrate the teaser.
The dark side. And the light.
Oscar Isaac also joins the cast as Poe Dameron, an X-Wing pilot who he describes as the best frickin' pilot in the galaxy. Also joining those stellar actors is John Boyega, who was born on March 17, 1992, and is known for playing Moses in Attack the Block, a movie I highly recommend watching on Netflix. Going with the relatively unknown cast hints at Disney and Abrams looking at talent over name recognition, which makes perfect sense since name recognition isn't something that Star Wars needs to help draw in an audience. The audience is already there, patiently waiting. Disney is by far the smartest studio producing movies right now, with 3 monstrous acquisitions under their belt with Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars. Disney is set to take over the frickin' world of movies. First, let's take a look at Pixar. Mickey Mouse and his friends bought Pixar back in 2006 for $7.4 billion. With a hands-off approach allowing the studio to remain in power, they've gone on to produce movies like Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, and Toy Story 3, all of which have gone on to win the Academy Award for Best Animated Film that year. It's safe to say that Disney didn't come in and ruin the magic at Pixar. They're still creating amazing movies, and this likely helped push Marvel into selling their IP to Disney for $4 billion in 2012. Again, with a hands-off approach allowing Marvel Studios to do what they do best, Marvel has had spectacular results with the Avengers, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and of course, Age of Ultron and Ant-Man. Marvel movies have since become some of the highest grossing films, with Guardians of the Galaxy demolishing all expectations and grossing $774 million. Since the buyout, Marvel films have generated over $8.5 billion in global box office revenue. Disney has a great track record of buying IP and allowing the talented studios to take the lead and make great films. Everything points to Disney going 3 for 3, giving fans of the Star Wars universe what they've wanted to see since Return of the Jedi.
I see you have constructed a new lightsaber. Your skills are complete.
We finally have a new Star Wars movie we're excited to see. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was first released on May 19th, 1999. I was 11 at the time and already a huge Star Wars fan. I had watched the originals countless times and was playing the Star Wars CCG game upon hours, learning all the different names of characters, ships, and planets along the way. As an 11-year-old, I was pretty awed by the special effects, and some of the really cool characters like Darth Maul really stood out to me. But as I got older and episode 2 and 3 came out, I quickly realized that these were not the movies we were looking for. Episode 7 looks to recapture what we loved about the originals. With John Williams returning to compose the film, we can be assured that even if everything else falls flat, the music will still be magical. And let's be honest, everything is already looking fantastic, and I absolutely love that they're being so secretive with the plot and story. Too many trailers these days give you far too much information and spoil many aspects of the film. I'm excited to see what the entire crew has in store for us, but from what I can see, we're in for a big treat. I mean, it can't get much worse than The Phantom Menace, so it's got that going for it. Do you think Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens will live up to expectations, or will it all come crashing down with Jar Jar Binks possibly time traveling through the Star Wars universe to take revenge on both the Imperials and the Rebels? Probably not, but I want to hear your opinions, so let me know down below. How excited are you? Thanks for watching TGN. Subscribe if you haven't already, and slap a like on the video if you'll be watching Episode 7 the first week like I will.